Go right now to John Joyce, the Pennsylvania Republican congressman, sits on the Energy and Commerce Committee, among others. Congressman, great to have you. Where are you on this impeachment inquiry, sir?
What we heard this morning at Republican conference is that Speaker McCarthy is living up to what his promise was. He promised us a government that was responsible. And what Jim Jordan through the Judiciary Committee, what Jamie Comer did through the Oversight Committee, and what Jason Smith did with Ways and Means is they've uncovered incredible information that we need to pursue that next level. And that next level is an impeachment inquiry. More than 20 shell companies by the Biden family, transfers of funds into those shell companies. This has raised that interest. And what he did by taking that next step, what Speaker McCarthy outlined, is that the next step is an inquiry into impeachment. It is a timeline that he has thoughtfully outlined, and the next step is where we are today.
Congressman, there were reports that former President Donald Trump was on the phone and talking directly to Republican congressmen to get this to happen, to open up an impeachment inquiry. I don't know how true that is, how many he might have talked to, or whether, for example, he might have even talked to you. Did he?
He did not talk to me. I think that what we were doing as the Republican conference is that we're working to take those next steps to hold President Biden, his family, if that's the case, accountable for what their actions were.
So where do you think this goes? I know an inquiry is just sort of gathering stuff, but to hear, Chairman Comer and others talk about it, they're loaded for bear here. That this is going to lead to impeachment proceedings. Am I over-interpreting that?
I think all the evidence today points that we are going to have impeachment proceedings, but we need to take those next steps. And what Speaker McCarthy has outlined, that with this inquiry, we can do that in a thoughtful and in a concise manner. I'm looking forward to see what the results were, and if that leads to an impeachment vote, I'm ready to take that vote.
There was other talk as well, Congressman, you feel free to shoot this down, that this was Kevin McCarthy's way to placate some of the more conservative members who are not keen on how, he has been handling this matter, and that he might cave on spending matters, but that this is keeping them in line and means that we are less likely to see a government shutdown. Any truth to any of that?
As a very conservative member of the U.S. House of Representatives, I commend Speaker McCarthy for taking the approach in a thoughtful manner, utilizing 3 existing committees, using Oversight, Judiciary, and Ways and Means to get to this step of an inquiry.
Okay. Lastly, sir, and I know there's a vote on the floor for this. California has this stiff mandate, I believe, in a few years. All sales have to be electric vehicle sales. I'm oversimplifying, but other states like New Jersey are contemplating the same thing. I believe Michigan has a further out end goal. What do you think of that? Where does that stand?
We have sponsored legislation which will be voted on tomorrow that will allow us to sever that ties of an EPA mandate forcing America to electric vehicles. I represent South Central and Southwestern Pennsylvania, where there are mountains and cold winters. The electric vehicles do not have the range, do not have the capability, and certainly aren't affordable to be able to achieve what my constituents expect in Pennsylvania. This important piece of legislation will sever that tie and allow internal combustion engines to be maintained. Let me make this one point. This is not a mandate against EVs. If you have the resources, if you want an EV, purchase an EV. But the California regulators and Gavin Newsom should not be making those decisions for all of America. This is an important piece of legislation, which ultimately I expect bipartisan support, because everyone's going to have to go home to their constituents and say, I want you to make the ultimate choice of what type of vehicle you choose to drive.
All right. Well, keep us posted on that. Congressman, great talking to you. Thanks for taking the time.